For the anatomy of the shoulder, we have a few bones to look at. And what you'll see on the picture is that I've included the spine and the ribs. If you watched the spine module already, you probably know by now how directly related the spine is to the ribs. Well, guess what? The ribs are very related to the shoulder. So I put them all there, but we've already looked at the spine and looked at the ribs. And so now let's look at these three bones of the shoulder that are really key. So the first is the clavicle, also called the collarbone. So find your own collarbone. It's this bone right here. It's, if I show you this way, it's a slight S curve, but it really sits right in the body like this. So find your own clavicle. And then if you keep tracking, you'll find some notches, some odd shaped bone landmarks here. Well, you've reached the scapula, the shoulder blade. And so you're looking right now at the front of the shoulder blade, and now you're looking at the back of it. I know it's the back because it has this, what's called spinous process along it. And the shoulder blade, so you can reach back and try to feel for your own shoulder blade. The shoulder blade sits in the back of the body right here. And so, like I said, if you track your collarbone, then you get to these notches. Well, now you're looking at the side of the shoulder blade. So like the inside of, oh, I've got it this way. Pardon me, you're looking at the outside of the shoulder blade. This is what you're feeling, these notches here when you travel from your clavicle to all those bony notches. Well, this is actually what helps create the socket of the shoulder joint. And then that leads us to the last bone, the humerus, the arm bone, the upper arm bone. So here's your humerus. Find your own humerus, the long bone in the upper part of your body. Well, much like the hip joint, it is a ball and socket joint, but I want you to notice that the ball of the humerus is more like a half ball. And the socket on the shoulder blade, so this is called the glenoid fossa, the socket of the shoulder blade, is a lot shallower. And that means that the ball and socket joint of the shoulder is not as supportive, not as tight. And that means we actually have more movement in the shoulder. So move your shoulder around. Look how much, you thought your hip had a lot of movement. Look how much movement your shoulder has. And this is good news. We can reach in all sorts of different directions. And something important to note, with all this mobility in the shoulder, it means that we don't have as much stability. But yet in yoga, we do things like, let's do plank pose or even crow pose and handstand and put all of our weight on our body. And this is important to understand. We don't have as much innate natural stability in the shoulder joint, which means we have to work on creating stability. And we work on creating stability through muscular activation. And we create muscular activation by integrating the cues of balanced posture alignment.